Hey, welcome to Papa's Place. Today is story time. We have a great story today. You're going to want to sit down and get ready for this story. This is a good one. Today's story is called Lily and the Butterfly. Once upon a time in a small little town lived a little girl named Lily. Lily was 6 years old. The thing about Lily was she was full of energy. Lily loved playing with her friends, and she had a lot of them. Bobby and Cindy were two of her best friends. That's them playing on the teeter-totter. Mia was one of her good friends, and Mia always liked riding that chicken. Now that's Mia behind Lily. She was always on that chicken. Jimmy and Sammy, well, they loved playing ball. So when they went out for recess, they always grabbed a ball. And if you look in the background, there were even some of her more friends. They liked playing Ring Around the Rosie. But most of all, above everything, Lily loved butterflies. Every sunny day, she would rush out to her favorite spot in the garden. And this wasn't just any garden. This garden was full of magic. It was like a magical garden. Every day that she would go to the garden, she would wait, and she would wait. And sure enough, every day the butterflies would appear. And not just a few butterflies, but more than you could count. She would watch the butterflies with amazement. Sometimes she would run through the garden and the butterflies would follow her. The butterflies loved her as much as she loved the butterflies. And sometimes Lily even wished she could be a butterfly. Well, one summer night, after a long day of playing with her friends and chasing butterflies, Lily fell asleep. She was so tired from playing all day. Well, Lily, she had to go to bed at 8 o'clock so she could be rested up for school. Well, this one night, Lily fell fast asleep and she began to dream. And in this dream, something magical happened. She felt lighter than air, and she felt her body begin to rise. And the thing is, Lily didn't know it was a dream. She thought it was real. Things began to happen. Things began to change. It was almost like she could feel her body change. Things began to feel. It was happening so fast. Then she began to realize that she was turning into a butterfly. And not just any butterfly, but a beautiful butterfly. More beautiful than all the other butterflies. Lily's wings shimmered with the colors of the rainbow, and she took flight soaring gracefully through the starlit sky. She couldn't believe her eyes, and her heart swelled with happiness, and she realized she could fly just like the butterfly she loved so much. She couldn't wait to tell her friends what happened. She wanted to go to the garden, so she started flying over the countryside. Her first stop was going to be the garden, so she started her journey. She was having so much fun being a butterfly. Then all of a sudden, the weather changed. It began to rain. The raindrops, when they hit her, they hurt her. She was unable to fly. She wanted to fly, but she couldn't fly. The wind was blowing her back. She was giving it all she had just to stay in the air. She wasn't going to quit. She just was going to do anything she could do to get to the garden. Finally, the weather began to improve. The sun slowly started to appear again. Lily was so relieved that the rain had stopped. She was so tired. She didn't know how much more she was going to be able to fly. Sure enough, she made it to the garden. She flew from flower to flower. She loved the smell of the flowers. She now knew why all the butterflies came there all the time. However, she looked around and she was the only butterfly there. She didn't understand why she was the only one. She decided to leave the garden and go to the playground. She couldn't wait to tell and show all her friends how she had turned into a butterfly. She flew up to Jimmy, but he didn't notice her. She flew over to Sammy, but Sammy didn't notice her either. Then she flew over to the teeter-totter where Cindy and Bobby were playing. She tried to speak their names, but to her surprise, she couldn't speak. No matter how hard she tried, only soft little chirps fluttered from her wings. She flew over by Mia and the chicken, but Mia didn't notice her either. Lastly, she thought she'd fly over to her friends who were playing Ring Around the Rosie. But they too could not hear her, and they didn't even notice her. Lily wanted to play with them so bad. With a heavy heart, Lily decided to visit her home. She flew over her house and saw her mom and dad working in the yard. Lily wanted more than anything to be with them, to hug them, and to feel their love. But as she flew around them, she realized she was still just a butterfly. Her parents didn't even recognize her. Lily was beginning to feel sad and lonely. She flew back towards the playground to be with her friends. But something felt different. The laughter and the joy she once shared with them, it was no longer there. Her friends still didn't notice her. Lily realized that being a butterfly wasn't as fun as being a little girl. Overwhelmed by sadness, Lily fluttered higher into the night sky. She missed her mom and dad, and she missed her friends terribly. As the realization set in that she could never truly be part of their lives as a butterfly, she wished more than anything to go back to being her little human self. Lily kept flying and flew back through the garden. And still, as she flew through the garden, there were no butterflies there, just her. Then suddenly, Lily noticed things started changing. Things were flashing and moving, swirling and turning. And then there was a quick flash of light, and then other colors appeared. And then it was like electricity was going through her body. Then she felt her body slowly coming toward the ground. A beam of light surrounded her. She felt like she was floating on air. And then all of a sudden, she had woken up, grabbed her teddy bear, his name was Cuddles, and she hugged him. She realized that she was dreaming this whole time. She immediately went outside to find her mom and dad, and she gave them a big hug and told them how much she loved them. Her dog, Fafa, he was there too. She loved Fafa. She then asked her mom and dad if she could go to the playground to see her friends. She couldn't wait to get there and play with them. Sure enough, when she got there, Jimmy and Sammy, well, they were on that teeter-totter. Cindy and Bobby, they were playing ball. And Mia, well, Mia was still on that chicken. And all her other friends were still playing Ring Around the Rosie. It was just how she remembered it. Lily went back to the garden, and all the butterflies were flying all around. They were so excited to see her. It was like they missed her. When Lily finally got back home, she realized she still loved butterflies, but not as much as she did friends and family. She realized that she loved playing with her friends, and nothing could replace the love of her mommy and daddy.